Yep.
With the recording, and then people can jump in as we go. Okay, thank you. Okay, guys, so actually what we're going to cover today, because we still have some traveling going on, Tom and Denise are just arriving back from our Top Achievers trip. They added a few extra days in beautiful Cancun. And then immediately upon their return, they are participating in a Shining Awareness on Addiction program. And so that's happening tonight. And so we had talked about what was going to be something really important to cover. And I thought what we covered at the Top Achievers Club in Cancun would be a really great thing to do. And this is called Stop and Start Training by Alex Tice. But James and I were talking before about the importance of planning for the future and trying to set goals for yourself as far as qualifying for the Top Achievers Club. And so I want to make sure that everybody knows that you can go to the LongevityRC.com, the resource center, and go there to the Top Achievers Club and pull up the information there, register yourself, and then you'll be added into the leaderboard and you can check your scorecard with your ID number and see where you stand and see where you're going and what requirements are still necessary for qualifying for the next trip, which will be in 2019 in Margaritaville. So South Florida, Jimmy Buffett's Margaritaville. So you don't have to go out of the country. You don't have to travel quite as far. And it's a lot easier than going through customs and all that stuff for most people. I hope that we'll all be able to be there together. And the great thing that these achievement boards will do is they're telling you the activities you need to be able to go, but they're also activities that will help grow your business. So if you stay on point with that in mind and trying to get to those achievements, then you're going to see positive shift and growth in your business. So even if you're starting late in the game, it's still a good thing to do to monitor your growth and excitement as you go forward. So we're going to cover the Stop and Start training that Alex Tice and Sean Brown did for us when we were down in Cancun. And the two big questions are, what are you doing that you need to stop to achieve better results? And what do you need to begin? Okay, so there's two different points. And we had the ambassadors that were there on stage that gave some of their own advice on these particular matters. And first of which, Avilia Ariaza came up with connect with everyone on the street and share to impact them, not yourself. Bring them into your home and discuss the fundamentals. So she was talking about doing this on a very personal level, getting out there and connecting with the everyday person. Then Dr. Lewis, following suit, said the same thing: take care of the fundamentals and they will take care of you for the rest of your life. So you do the right things, and we learn this on 65 and a Wake Up. Sorry about that. I'll do some mute.
I mean, I don't think 3.5 is a problem here.
Who am I missing a mute?
But you're not getting it up here.
And Noah and Anna Sigmund, if you could mute that would be helpful. Thank you so much. Wonderful. Okay. All right. Sorry about that. Dr. Lewis Ariaza, again, said take care of those fundamentals and they'll take care of you for the rest of your life. So if you do the right activities, you do the things that are known to be effective, like the coffee shop interview, the 2 CSIs and 1 3-way a day, like is proposed and discussed and administered through 65 days in a Wake Up, and keeping together, doing your documentation, all those things are going to help you to be able to get the success that you need if you do the right things to start. Juliet Fardulis said, be friends first. Again, it's about connecting people on a level that's personal for the person on the other side of the table or the other side of the conversation. And that's where we need to all come from. Scott Fardulis added, build a relationship. same thing. And then Tom added confidence and belief. And those have to be about yourself, about longevity, about the business, about the products, and creating that confidence and belief through your ability and your success level. 1 second. And he said it's what's in your heart. And that's always what Tom talks about. So now what I'd like to do is I'd like all of us to work together on this concept of what are the things that you need to stop doing that will these things that impede you from the right activities, from the right goals, and achieving the right goals and the right successes. And I want you all to chime in, to write in over in the group chat, if you will, and then we can have a discussion about them and how they affect us and what they go through. So what would be something that you need to stop doing so that you can create better success in your business? What do you think? All right, I'll start out with sleeping, Lanny Sharp. Well, that's really clever. Sleeping is really important for a healthy part of your life. My sweet Lanny Lou. We need to make sure we're getting enough sleep, but we need to not oversleep, right? Is that what you're kind of saying, Lanny? Kind of chat with me here for a moment about this idea that you have. Let's unmute you, or you unmute yourself.
No, it's just about, think about it. Tom says he wakes up at 2:00 in the morning and is thinking about all of us. And lately that's kind of what I've been doing is I'm awake at 3:30 or I'm awake at 4:00 and I'm like, why can't I sleep? And then everybody just starts coming into my mind, like Sherry Bowles that's on this video. And, it's just so awesome to have them out there and know that they're doing what we're all doing and sharing that. But I think really somebody wrote procrastinating, and I think that is a huge, huge part of this. Is, and then getting ourselves in the position where, like, okay, maybe we're on rapid funnel. Are we plugged into everything we can be? Is our profile in place? Is our profile good in LinkedIn? If people are going to go see you on LinkedIn, is your profile okay on LinkedIn? No, mine isn't. So I have to go and clean all those things up. And it's taking the time to go do those things that I need to do. So there you go.
Thank you, Lanny. That was wonderful. Oh, I'm going to mute you up. There we go. So we want to make sure that our how we present ourselves out there in the world, that was a great one. Is your profile accurate? And we do need to know if what we're putting out there is true to our circumstances. So yes, I agree with that too. Peggy Gleason brought up procrastinating, and Lanny reiterated that. And yes, procrastination is one of the greatest killers of success. So we need to be able to overcome the procrastination and what can we do? What is the issue with procrastination? If Peggy, if you can share a little bit about that.
I think it's putting those the phone weighs 500 pounds. So you do other things so that you don't have to pick up that 500-pound phone. That I would think would be a big example. Get those two contacts and one three-way done earlier in the day so that at the end of the day you haven't been so distracted to use it as another excuse like I ran out of time. So that's what I mean by procrastinating.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, and it is true. Anything that we do that is not a productive activity that we're doing to put off the thing that we should be doing. So yes, procrastination is a tremendous killer of the business. What else? What else do we need to stop doing in order to create greater success? And you don't need to leave me on the big screen. You can keep me small.
Does anybody, does anybody feel like, okay, if somebody's watching you, then it's really hard to do what you're supposed to be doing? Or if you're with somebody, does that give you the ability or the push to do it better because they're watching you? Which way do you go with that? Sometimes it's one way and sometimes it's the other.
You know, that's really great, Lanny, because am learning, and I've been reading that the people that you are with can be great ways for you to have success, but they can also be holding you back. And so sometimes there's a point where you have people that you're working with that will help you to get to a certain level. And then there are other times where you've outgrown that particular person or those people, and you need to step into a different way, a different group of connections that are going to help you to be more successful. So if that's what you meant by that, I completely agree. When I see Peggy saying about distractions of people that are around, when you're trying to do your work, that is very, very fascinating. Yeah. And I've seen it in myself. I've seen it in people on the team, and it's about being able to maintain that level of focus, right? The focus is so important. There we go. Okay. Robin said, Peggy, get contacts done earlier in the day. Yes. And we're learning that in the book, The One Thing. The one thing that do the most important activities first, because you can run out of the energy that you need, the storehouse of energy to do things. And if you do unproductive things first, you can be so worn out by the time you get to the things that you want to do to help build your business that you just can't manage it. You know, you need to have that willpower and that ability, and it's not always there. You have to work on, that was Peggy's quote. Okay. Thank you, Robin. So I do understand that. And so we need to make sure that you do things early. And Lanny, by the way, that's what Tom is talking about when he talks about getting up at the 2 a.m. And I know when I went through my round of 65 days in a wake up, that it was, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. If I rolled over and woke up, I would get on there and I would start going through and reading the other posts, and I would start planning my day and creating a map. And that's one of the things too, we'll get to the start section afterward, but this, is talking about planning, doing, and reviewing and getting prepared to go through what we need to do. Okay, so let's go through a couple of the other ones that we came up while we were down there. How about talking too much? Is that one that can resonate with people, right? Sometimes we need to remember to listen with the 2 ears and speak with the one mouth, pay better attention to the person on the other side of the table, and stop saying things, because sometimes you go beyond the point of what the person needs, and then their eyes start to glaze over, right? So we need to stop talking too much. Another one that we kind of talked about before that involves the procrastination is doing busy work. We want to not do things that are not going to be productive and start changing things. Yes, listen more. So get away from the busy work. Stop rearranging the things on your desk and start doing the things that are going to help to grow the business. Another great one is stop making excuses, right? So how many times have you heard from people on your team, or even heard in yourself, oh, well, they can't because of this, or I can't because of that, or whatever, and they come up with these different excuses. But the truth is, if they really want it, they can make it happen. And making sure that you do those most important things first will keep you from making too many excuses. Yes, for others, we'll make excuses for others. And that's one of the things we'll talk about a little bit later down on this list. How about holding back? Stop holding back. There's a difference between talking too much and holding back, right? in that you need to be willing to do the things that you have to do to find that success. There's things that you will stand back and not do. And it's that gut feeling you have when you want to do something and you want to accomplish something well or help somebody, and you hold back from doing it. You can do that with a degree of desire to go through the process of what we're doing 65 and a wake up, where you're getting to know them on a deeper level, and there's holding back that way and not throwing up all over them, but not holding back when the time is right, understanding and seeing when the time is right to step forward and to step out and say the right things and do the right things. The next thought we need to stop is doubting. And that doubt can be about ourselves. It could be about the product. It could be about the business. There's a lot of things that people will make excuses for and create doubt over. And, sometimes it just takes a leap of faith, right? You just need to be able to get out there and go for it. So stop second guessing yourself, which is the next thing to stop doing. Just do it, because truthfully, what you're going to be saying to them is going to be better than saying nothing, as opposed to throwing up on their feet. But stop second guessing yourself, get out there, love on them. If you come from a place of loving and sharing and not being selfish and focusing on them, you can never do wrong. So you may not say exactly the right perfect thing at every given time, but stop second guessing yourself. Another one is low self-esteem. And that's where Tom was talking about having the confidence and the belief in yourself to know that you can do this. And it really only takes a real person, someone who's going to be loving and kind and being genuine. What people don't like to see out there in the world is someone who is fake, someone who is trying to be deceptive. And so if you can be real and carry yourself with a level of confidence and belief system, it'll be better for the people that you are communicating with. Stop worrying. Don't have negativity all the time. Put those things aside and just know that it'll all work out. I always say it's part of God's plan. Go with it, whatever it is. Don't worry. Nothing is ever going to come from knitting those worries. So if you're up at the 3-4 o'clock hour and it's because you're knitting worries, change it. Use that time productively to be doing something in a positive way that's going to help you, help others, and promote the cause of doing good. The next thing to stop is complaining. Don't complain all the time. Nothing is perfect. No person, no object, no anything is perfect. Don't complain about it. Work with what you have. Do the best that you can. Understand that there are answers that you can find in a different way than by complaining about them. Try and be a solution to problems rather than creating more problems, if that makes sense.
I totally love problems.
Hey, you love what?
What's up, everybody?
How are you, honey?
Did you guys miss me?
I didn't miss you. I had you. So.
Do not lie to me. You guys are the greatest, and I am so happy to be home, and I'm interrupting all this deep stuff because I really, really, really missed you all so much. You two Bolas, B-O-L-E-S, that's pretty cool. And Dr. Ipe and Peggy Gleason and Becky and Elizabeth and Dr. Lisa, they're both on 2 different machines. The fabulous Linda, Imogene, good to see you, Imogene or whatever. Nancy and Robin and Lanny and Reginald and Angie and Carl and Vincent. I think I got most of you, man. This is great to see you, and I'm glad to be home. And it's time to go to work. So the first thing you have to do, if you're going to be on camera, you have to work on your resting face. You're not allowed to sit there frowning at me, or you're just going to get punched in the face, because I can see you. And James, I forgot to say hi to you. So this does not work if you're out there getting all mopey, because mopey sucks. Tell your face how much fun you're having. and you have to primp up your hair. That's pretty good. And just here's what she's doing. Her hair's all combed, and she's going, gee, Minnie Christmas, he's going to call me out for having my hair all combed. I better mess it up. Yeah, be a hot mess. Be your authentic self. And there is no room, like Pamela was saying, for negative. There's people out there suffering. In that book that I've been reading about the prisons, oh my gosh, that thing is crazy, because, those guys in maximum security, those people have got 15, 20, 25 years to go on their sentences. And they have a chance to become entrepreneurs in training, and they're in those cell blocks 23 hours a day. They get out for an hour. And the other 23 hours, it's a 24-hour stream, is Tony Robbins and all this hype and all this jazz. You think you hate me for an hour? Try that 24/7, 7 a week, 30 a month, and 365 a year. I mean, but that's what they're willing to go through to get changed around, to come out the other side an entrepreneur or a winner. So let me ask you this. What are you willing to go through to become what you want to be in your life? Because if you think you've got some story about why you can't, I'm going to punch you in the face. No. Here's the book. Stop saying I'm going to punch you in the face, Denise just said. Can't say that anymore, ever again. I've never punched anybody in the face, I don't think. That's the book right there. It's about maximum security jails. It's about going in there and finding these prisoners. And these guys have done egregious things. But guess what? How would you like to only be known by the worst thing you ever did? Think about the worst thing you ever did right then. Think about it. And then every time somebody sees you, that's what they remember about you. That's what a convict goes through. That's what a felon goes through. And all of a sudden you say, no, that's not going to be what I'm going to be remembered for. I did something bad. But do you know what? That's yesterday's news. Who I am is not a bad person. Who I am is not that. And who I am is going to change and rewrite history starting today. So I want you guys to think about that today. And how are you going to rewrite history? I know how. It's called 2 interviews a day and 1 3-way call and 1 3-way tool, and following up like crazy. And commenting on 65 and a wake up. I can see so many graduates on here. I'm not going to say anybody's name. PG, PS. I'm thinking about people I want to help comment on LS. Let's see what else. RT, Robin Tanner, you're one of the best commenters there is on the planet, by the way. I need you to know that. But we've got all these new people out there that are in 65 and a wake up, and they're watching it. And you are their idols. Every one of you people on this call are their idols. They are looking to you for inspiration, for guidance, for coaching, to lift them up when they think about breaking that 65-day streak. I want you guys to go pro with Denise. Denise is speaking there again. I want you there. I'll figure out a way to get you there. You don't have to worry about that, man. I love you, and I am after it. Why? Because I want you to become a better network marketer. I want you to become a better human being. I want you to become a better child of God. I want you to become somebody better for this planet. And the people that are caring about other people and loving about other people, I've got myself in the big screen here, and I hate that. I got to get rid of that. Yeah. Now I'm looking at you guys to get them happier. So that's what that all boils down to, is being your best you, Peggy Gleason. Is Hanny in your organization? Just nod. Look at what she's doing. Look what you did. Look what you were cause of. I mean, you transformed a human being's life. Do you know that? She was just going along and had a sick husband, and all of a sudden decided to grab her power and say, I'm not going to settle anymore. And the rest is history. Unmute, James. Peggy Gleason. And did I hijack you, Pamela?
No, of course not.
You're not mad at me?
I love you.
Adrian picked me up at the airport. We were just going like a bat out of hell. I mean, you cannot believe how fast we were going down I-25 because I wanted to be here on time. So, Peggy Gleason,
Yes.
What's that feel like to have changed her life?
It feels totally awesome. And I think about it every day. I really do. You know, we met on chance, and we've become the best of friends as well through this. And I thank God for this because it has given us that beautiful, beautiful, deep relationship. So I'm grateful every day. And you know, I'm just beyond belief, so to speak.
But you're a nurse. You're
Yes.
actually a doctor.
Yeah.
And you work at Duke.
Yep.
You're an accomplished woman. Are there ever days in your life where you just feel like this sucks and I just give up? It's not worth it. I'm checking it all in. I can do something else. I was happy when I got here. I don't need this. Doesn't that happen to even you?
You know what happens? I cannot say I would ever give up. That's one thing I know. Excuse me, I have a little bit of a cold. I know in the deepest part of my being that I'm where I need to be, and I believe in that. But there are days, and yeah, I'll admit, there are days where I'm like, I just can't do. I have no idea what I'm doing. I get lost. You know, I just get tired. You know, it's like, oh my God, I want this thing to be done already. You know, but yeah, I struggle. I definitely struggle.
I got this. So what I'm trying to tell everybody is what you go through is what it's called to be a human being. Becky, you go through it. Elizabeth, you go through it. Dr. Lisa, you go through it. Dr. Ipe, you go through it. James, you go through it. Pamela, you go through it. I mean, you made up being sick for like a month. You kept telling me you were sick, and I know you weren't sick. You were just hiding out. And it's, you know, that's what we do. That's what we do. But you know what? When we've got each other, and we're so accountable to each other that we just can't quit. Because when we know we're quitting, we're not only quitting on ourselves, but we're quitting on our team in 65 and a Wake Up, our team here, and our team that we brought into this business that you made a commitment to. All of a sudden, you haven't got it anymore. And I'm looking for Colleen Richter. Where is she even here? You tell her I was asking.
She was supposed to be on here, and I don't know why she's not, but she even asked about the time frame. So
yeah, and I look at Angie Rubeck, and I look at Claire, and I look at what we've got, and I look at Robin, who's got no upline. She's had a hell of a time with that, and you know, we are her lifeline. We are her family. We are the ones that are going to be able to pull these people when they need to be pulled across the finish line, because they're going to pull us when we need to be pulled across the finish line. And that goes for you, Nancy Modlin and Vincent Cunningham. I mean, this is our chance together to take each other along. But the only way this works is when you're in the game, is with everything you've got. I mean, I look at that group from San Antonio now, those kids that are in 65 and a Wake Up, and they're all just playing. Ipe, we finally have your face. We've seen your hand. We've seen your sweater. We've seen your everything, and it's just exciting to see your face. Dr. Ipe, the medical doctor, anesthesiologist, aging doctor, Ladara skincare doctor, board of directors at Longevity's Medical Advisory Board doctor, my personal doctor, and he and his wife are both on here. Why? Because they know that this is the end of the rainbow. This is the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The other day, he brought his beautiful son and his son's girlfriend down to Longmont with a bunch of guests. They took about 15 people up to Victoria's meeting. Why? Because he's got that deep belief, and he's going to do it no matter what. And what I want you guys to do is get that. I mean, every day. I just got a call as I came in. My friend Cal Murab, did you hear about, hi Tom, my camera's not working. Who was that? Somebody. Oh, that was Lanny. Oh man, I hope it wasn't because Tom's so ugly. If Tom looked in your camera and broke it, I'll kill him, Lenny. You tell him that. This guy just wrote me this note. Look at this note I just got. This guy's wife died. She goes into the hospital. She's got a cold. It goes to pneumonia, and then she has a heart attack, and then she dies. That's terrible.
It's a gun threat.
Somebody's talking.
That's Emily.
Emily Richter. Where is that little fireball? I gotta find her.
What's up?
Oh, Emily, and there's Linda Tyler. Emily, I love you. I was in a dialogue with your mother a couple of days ago, just thinking about you every minute, thinking about what an unbelievable rock star kid you are. And don't ever, ever, ever let anybody tell you otherwise, or you just walk in and say, you need to Google somebody's name. And they'll say who, and you say Tom Chenault. And when they Google you, when they Google me, say this guy is meaner than a junkyard dog, and he's coming out here and he is going to set you straight. So you just know I'm in your corner. Is that okay? All right. I love you, sweetheart. Thank you for coming on here. This is big. I was looking for your mother too, and your dad, Keith. I love him. Look at Adrian. Adrian picks.
I love you too.
What's that?
I love you too. I love you too.
That made my day. I'm glad I came back. Thank you. Linda Tyler, you look absolutely great. I want you guys to meet Linda Tyler. Unmute her, James. Here's the deal about Linda Tyler. Dr. Wallach was telling me there is nobody that takes better care of him on the road, takes him to church, makes him pray, takes care of his life like nobody else, has absolutely really no any reason to do it other like all of us don't, it is because obviously being around him is everything. But he talks about her heart like it is this big. And I just want to acknowledge you for that, Tyler. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tom. Can you hear me? I don't even know if you could hear me.
We can hear you perfectly, man. We see that fired up red lipstick, and life is good. And
yes, it is.
Yeah, you guys, I don't know what the deal for the next TAC trip is, how you win that, but win it. I mean, let's all band together and win it. It costs Youngevity a fortune. It's a blast. You go down there, you have fun with people. It's a great culture. And I swear I've never even bothered, which is terrible upline. I gotta admit, call it on myself. I don't even know how to tell you how to go win it, but we need to figure that out on this screen. So 100%, there's my little snot-nosed son, Adrian. Every one of us are going down there and having an unbelievable time on Youngevity's dime, because it's really where you get to relax and do it.
Yeah.
So if you're one stars, the 1-star call on Thursday is going to be unbelievable. We're going to talk again about this stock deal with Steve Wallach. He's very, very good at bringing it from his heart. Dave Brisky. I don't know if you guys have the listening for Dave Brisky. I do. The guy does 9 jobs, and nobody can do 9 jobs perfectly. But I'll tell you one thing right now. He is all about doing those 9 jobs. And he's done miraculous things with the stock offering. He does all these acquisitions. He's on the point of all those. He runs Youngevity. He runs purchasing. He runs accounts payable, accounts receivable. He's the president. He's trying to herd all the ants called the distributors. If you guys get a chance, write him a note and just tell him thank you, because I don't know how the guy can do the job he does with all the things on his plate. It makes no sense to me, and he's doing it. So just know that I'm a fan. I'm looking through who's on here. Yeah, so I keep going back to taking everybody with each other. So how do you do that? How do you get into 65 and a wake up? And why am I so insistent that you do that? It's not for me. I don't make any more money off of that. It's for you. Because if you can get the discipline, and Dr. Ike will tell you, I am jumping in the foxhole with him. He's got something called Cenegenics. We are going to take my health, and I told Adrian this, so this is no shock for my son. Dr. Ike and Sanjeev and about all these world-class doctors have this program called Cenegenics that fits alongside the keto diet and all the stuff that we're doing at Youngevity. But inside of that, he is gonna take me to task for the next 12 months to put my health back where it needs to be. Because I work too hard, I eat too stupid, I don't move the right way. I do move, I walk a lot, but there's no reason in the world I'm not a heck of a lot healthier than I am with all the vitamins and with all the walking I do. So he grabbed me and he said, listen, we are going to change things. We're going to do 7 hours of blood tests on you. And we are going to show you what it's going to take for you to live to be 120 years old. And we're going to have to make some drastic changes in what you eat and what you think and what you do. Are you willing to do that? And I had to think about that. And Dr. Ipe wasn't happy about that because I thought about it for a month. I mean, it's kind of like and here's what happened when I first quit drinking. I got arrested. The cops were there and the cops said, okay, you can go to jail or you can get sober and straighten out your life. You can stay in this hospital or you can get sober and straighten out your life. You can do that. And what I said to the cops when I was faced with all of that was the same thing I said to Dr. Ipe. Let me think about it. Normal people don't think about it. They just say, you know what? That is the way to do it. But here's what I'm going to tell most of you on this call. I don't think you're normal either. Because what are you thinking about with 65 and a wake up? Why wouldn't you take on doing 2 interviews a day and 1 3-way call and doing it for 65 straight days? At the end of 20 days, it's a muscle. Ask Adrian, ask Pamela, ask Peggy, ask Colleen, ask everybody. At the end of 20 days, you know, you want to quit between day 10 and day 20. You just want to kill me. You want to kill everybody. It's horrible. But I'm not going to teach you about improving my health. Of all the people who shouldn't teach you about that, it's me. I have no evidence it works. I am just whistling in the dark here. Let me teach you about multi-level marketing. I am the Dr. Ipe of network marketing. I am Dr. Ipe. I'm Dr. Lisa. I'm Sanjeev. I'm all those things. I am nothing. I am like Dr. Kevorkian. If you listen to me, you are going to die. No, Robin. No. That is so funny. No. I'm glad I read that comment. That's hilarious. Yeah, so I hope you got my point. I'll give you Dr. Ipe's phone number. If it's working for me, I will tell you it's working for me and tell you to call him. That's what I will do. But, you know, because I got to handle this, man. I'm committing suicide with a fork. I think I have anorexia, dyslexia, because every time I go on a diet, I eat more. So I don't know why that is. So it's got to be something like in my brain. And so anyway, we lost it. Okay, so going back to what I was talking about, discipline. And I know everybody's looking at this. You're all saying, and I know that, man alive, Vincent Cunningham's hair is significantly longer. Oh, it's Linda Tyler. Somehow Linda Tyler's on Vincent Cunningham's name. And so that was hilarious. I'm going, wow, that was pretty cool. So anyway, you're all going, I wish that Pamela Schwartz was still doing this, and you're going to have to do that, but you're going to have to deal with that. Hello, Dr. Lisa. I thought you were, so Dr. Ipe's wife is also Dr. Lisa. So I thought he was on 2 screens. So I confused that until I saw your beautiful face. So now I'm back in. Hello, Diana Harper. This is so great. I love you guys. So back to it. 65 and a wake up. I'm really going to push this. We are out, and Adrian, get ready to unmute Adrian. We are going to launch this app. I mean, it is imminent on the contact mapping, and it's going to change network marketing. It's going to change business altogether. It's going to be the best thing that ever happened to you. But you guys were the focus group, and you figured it out. You figured out that the person with the most data on their friends wins. And that data that you have on your friends is more valuable than any asset you've got. And I have taken it up like 15 notches. I mean, Adrian will tell you, I'm snapping pictures of everybody, my friends, everybody. I'm interviewing like it's going out of style. And what I'm doing is constantly looking for touch points to follow back on, follow up with people on. And I'm so good at contact mapping right now, and the coffee shop interview, it's intuitive, it's natural, it's what I do. And it is paying off in spades. And it's paying off in every area of my life. And whether it's with my friends who love the fact that I love them so much, or it's people in restaurants where I go into a restaurant and they wait on me and I look at the waiter and say, I was here about a month ago. You were telling me about your child up in Montana. Da-da-da-da-da-da. People love to be remembered. That's all there is to it. Document and love. Document and love. Document and love. If you can do that, you win. But you've got to develop that muscle. And develop that muscle takes discipline until it turns into a habit. And I am telling you, it works. It works. And you got to get and refocusing. Who's writing all that? Pamela? Yeah, you got to, I'm focusing on eating. What are you talking about?
That was from before, you goofy goof. You were focusing on the eating part.
Oh, I thought you were saying I'm so
No. But now I'm just repeating the document and love.
I thought you said I was even eating the documenting. That's hilarious. So unbelievable. Did
you see the TAC video? We're in it playing water volleyball.
No. Oh yeah, but late. You guys have to see. Can I tell them?
They didn't want to see it early.
Can I tell you what happened? So do you guys want to hear a fast story? Just nod if you do, because it's not got anything to do with contact mapping. So we're playing water volleyball, and I'm like the oldest guy there, like 50 years. So the ball, and all these people are mocking me anyway, because I can't even leave my feet, and I look like a beached whale. So I'm in my swimming suit, which is clearly the biggest swimming suit you've ever seen in your life, and nothing is looking very good anyway. But we're just kind of ignoring that because, I don't care. So then the ball goes out of the net, right? And everybody looks at me like, you got to go out and get that ball that's rolling down the sidewalk.
Well, also, wait, you have to add to this. It was cold. It was warm in the pool, and the wind was blowing cold, even in Cancun, and we were all a bunch of wimps and didn't want to get out of the water.
22
and then, what did you do?
So then I have to go get the ball. So I climbed. So they're looking at me to climb out of the pool. So as I feel myself jumping up, I feel my swimming suit going down. And this was not going.
He pushed it down. He pushed it down.
No, that was that's when that happened, right then. And I could just feel, I could read their minds going, that is just wrong. So instead of pulling it up, I let it go on down. And it was just the right side of my body. But it was so.
No, it wasn't. It was not. It was full, as the reverse of full frontal. It was full backside.
It went from these people going to a cascade of laughter that was first polite and then hilarious. Because all you can be is yourself. All you can be, it is, it's nothing nobody had ever seen, and it was great. And you know what? It was certainly right for being so judgmental. So that was that story about beach volleyball, but they didn't get the video. And I just saw the other, Dr. Lisa tell Dr. Ike just to turn off the TV because Tom's an idiot. So that's true. She walked out of the room.
They got you and Andy hitting the ball, which was pretty good.
Yeah. But you know what, you guys? Be yourself. Just be yourself. Be your total train wreck self, because anything else you try to be, you suck at. But your train wreck self is why little Emily Richter loves her train wreck mother, why little Adrian Chenault loves his dad. And Adrian, talk to these people. Get me out of the trap.
I'm just trying to get that mental image out of my head. It has been such an exciting journey on getting this app together, and man, we are so close. And I just want to push this thing out, and it's driving me nuts because we just want it to be perfect. And every day I find some bug that we got to get out of there before we ship it out to the world. And I am dying to put this thing out there to you guys, and we are so close that I can't even see straight. But it's great. It's looking really, really good. And I can't wait to have everybody, to put it in your hands and let you guys take it out and get it get this thing firing in your lives, because I think it's going to make your lives so much easier. And it's really, it's inspired by all of you, and it's inspired by what you've been doing and what we've all learned together over, gosh, almost a year now of 65 days in a wake up, which is really hard to believe that it's not, we're coming up on that anniversary, but it's just been awesome. And, one of the things that Dad said and that I really took to heart and have been thinking a lot about. So there's a guy named John Clark. I didn't see him on here. I don't know if he's on the call today, but John Clark is part of the 65 Days in a Wake Up community, and he lives down in Tyler, Texas. And he was so committed when he heard that Doc Wallach was coming up here to Longmont that he drove, I think it's like 20 hours from Tyler, Texas, out to Longmont, Colorado to get to hear Doc and see him live and to get to spend a little bit of time with us. And, he has been in the water and out of the water on 65 days in a way. And he, the thing that has had him locked up a little bit is he was stuck in his head a little bit about this coffee shop interview that needed to go straight to a three-way call, which should land on an enrollment the third time you ever meet somebody, is kind of without him knowing that that's what he felt like he was supposed to do. That's what he had in his subconscious. And what he took away from really riding shotgun with Dad for a couple of days was, if you ever hang out with him, and those of you guys who have come to Longmont before or are part of the team here can attest to this, he is never not dialing the phone. And what happens, and I've watched this my whole life, is somebody pops in his head, and before he has the chance to talk himself out of it, the phone is already ringing. And that is such a powerful thing, because if you want to teach just have an agenda, the best way to not have an agenda is to have already had the person pick up the phone before you had any time to formulate one. And so you're just automatic, and God puts these people in your head, or whoever, all these people pop into our heads all the time when we go, you know what, I should call them. I'm going to call them later today. I'm going to call them whenever. And think about what percentage of the time you have that thought versus the percentage of the time that you follow through and make that phone call. It's probably really, really low if you're anything like me. And we have to just train ourselves as part of this thing, and as part of becoming truly professional network marketers, that everyone, they want to hear from you. And anything that you're doing to talk yourself out of that is a lie and a story that you have made up for yourself or for them about why they don't want to hear from you or why they're not ready. And so the whole thing, there's so many of these things that you don't realize because you've been around them. And that's one of the things that I've seen so many times, but it's so powerful. So just as you think about this, make sure you do that. Make sure that you pick up that phone and call somebody that pops into your head the moment it happens. And even if they're at work or that they're not going to answer, the fact that you called it means a lot to people, and you'll never know how much it really means until you pick up that phone.
Okay, so you were in the shower in Zurich, Switzerland, and you decided, and all of a sudden the idea for the app came to you, right?
Yes. Hammer that shower part home. Thank you.
He was naked, but he was going. I just wanted to point this out. So here's the deal. You came to Longmont thinking you were going to digitize your dad. And you thought you were going to stand back and kind of look at network marketing from 10,000 feet. But tell people how this app and how network marketing and longevity and the 65 and a wake up and the interview, tell them what happened to a very, very successful guy in Zurich, Switzerland, that was the shock of all time for you.
That's me, is who we're talking. I was like, who's the guy in Switzerland?
You.
I think I've shared this with a few of you guys before, but I came back from Switzerland. I came back to, the reality is my motivation to come back was to do this app. That's what had me coming back. Since I was 20 years old, I've always said that when I grow up, in quotes, that I want to be an entrepreneur. And that's still the truest thing about me. But I came back for one purpose, which was to build this app. And I started thinking about that I was going to be, investing literally my life savings into this thing, and that it would probably be a good idea to have some cash flow some cash flow coming in while I was building this thing. And so I really came to the idea of building my longevity business from a totally utilitarian perspective of, two things: that I would get to learn, I'd get exposure and I would get to learn from all of you and learn this business, and that I would earn a little bit of extra money on the side. But there was no grandiose strategy or motivation behind this. It was entirely just, I want to earn a little extra cash on the side. And the surprise and the joy and the journey that it has been for me to get exposed to longevity in my own way, as nice green screen, Marianne, to get exposed to this business in the way when I was, at the right age and at the right stage of my life, and all those things, to be ready to receive it in a new way and with new eyes. But really, I have to give a huge proportion of the credit to not to my dad, to you all.
What?
To this community, because it really did. This group and the 65-day journey that I went on myself, and the way that all of you encourage each other, had set me on fire. And I really look forward to the time that I spend on my longevity business every day. It's a joy to me. It is something that keeps me sane, because it's so relational, where a lot of what I'm doing on this app is me, hammering stuff into a computer and not interacting with people. And I love it. I will never go back. I'm just totally sold out.
So then something else happened to you that was pretty strange. Dr. Wallach, Ben Fuchs,
Yeah.
Dr. Mary, Dr. Winkle, Glenn Schultz, and Ben Fuchs all came to town. Tell them about what happened to you then.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I heard Dr. Wallach the first time when I was, how old do you think that was? Probably 9 or 10 years old.
No, it had to be 24 years ago. How old are you?
33, so 7 years old.
Okay.
So I remember sitting in the back of a room in Colorado Springs with Doc Wallach on an overhead projector with printed out transparency slides, doing his presentation all those years ago, which of course, it all completely went over my head at that age. But, in my mind, I had heard Wallach before, and I had heard this message before. And so again, I went to this event that Marianne and Glenn Schultz, I don't know if Glenn's on today, but all these people, it was just a world-class event. And it was so it happened. But I went there going, I'm going because I should go to support Marianne. And, that was what I thought it was going to be. And instead what it was just a holy moly, I was just so reinvigorated and so blown away by Doc's message, by it's unbelievable, guys. And it's so refreshing, and it's so different. And what we have is incredible. And so I have yet again, just a new fire lit underneath me from hearing those guys. And I had never heard Dr. or Ben Fuchs speak before. And man, that guy is just a gold mine for us. And so it's just awesome. We've got the business, we've got this team working together, and we've got a mission and a product and a story to tell that the world needs to hear. And there's so much still in front of us. It's unbelievable.
Okay, so here's what I'm trying to. So
just tell the punchline for me. I'm clearly not landing.
No, you did. You landed it. Here's the deal. You landed it when you guys, Pamela, your children, all of you people with your children. When your son calls you on the phone from Zurich, Switzerland, and says, "Dad, I'm coming home, and I'm going to quit my giant job, and I am going to come home, and I am going to build this app from zero with all of my money that I've saved, and I'm going to build a longevity business. And you're the dad. You better believe that this business works. You know, this is your kid. This isn't some stranger you met on the internet. This is your kid. And I want you guys to think about that and think about the decision in my, you know, he's completely successful, 3 kids in Zurich, absolutely stressed out, jumping off the dock into the dark. And I had to know damn well that this works. So I want you guys to know that you're my kids. I know this works. But Adrian had to go through 65 days in a wake up. Peggy Gleason had to go through 65 days in a wake up. Marianne had to go through 65 days in a wake up. These people had to go through it in order to get that belief level. Colleen Richter, 65 days and a wake up. I mean, Angie is close. I mean, she's on her way. Lanny, 65 days and a wake up. And the reason I'm saying that to you is because I truly believe that's what it's going to take to shift you from where you are to where you need to be in order to fight through what it takes to build one of these things. Because here's what it takes to make $1 million a year in longevity. All you got. All you got. So you think if you think you're going to do this thing you can't. You can't. And I've got to convince you of that. But it's not because I've done the heavy lifting and I know what it took and I know where I made mistakes and I know where I would do it differently. Where I would do it differently is right here at the point. What this app is going to build, and right here at the point, is why I am so adamant about you guys learning this machine right here, this enrollment part, because then the rest of the skills of GoPro, the rest of the skills of Longevity University, the rest of the skills that Pamela Schwartz is teaching you on all these Thursday night training calls, those can all come into place. But if you don't have anybody to practice on, if you don't have anybody to enroll and train and inspire, it doesn't do you any good. And this 65 days, and I know I'm selling it hard today, but I was down in Cancun. And I was around all those people that are literally whistling in the dark, trying to figure out their way in longevity. And I grabbed so many of them by the throat saying, God, you just got to do this. I mean, you got to get around a support group of people that are just like you, that are scared to death to step off the dock. And then you step off the dock, and there's several of you that are really professional network marketers on here that have done everything, but you haven't done 65 and a wake up yet. Because you're too embarrassed to let everybody know that you don't know. You're too embarrassed to say, I've got to go do what it takes. So my team goes and does what it takes. I do this every day. I interview every day. You can, and Adrian said something really, really important. You guys want to come out here on a Tuesday and shadow me until Wednesday night? You'll want to kill yourself by the time you go home. Because you're going to, 2 reasons are going to happen. One, I'm crazy and I'm fun to hang around with. And then you're going to say, man alive, that's all he does is talk to people and love people. That's all he does. I flew all the way to Colorado to do that. I already knew that. You're darn right. You already knew that, but you got to do more of it. And it's got to be documented. It's got to be followed up on and everything like that. The guy whose best friend just died, you know, and I told you about that earlier where she had the pneumonia, she had the cold, then she had the pneumonia, then she had the heart attack. What I'm going to do with Cal is I'm going to go to Cal and say, guess what, man? You are not getting out of my eyesight till you get your health under control. I can't have you die. Because right now, he's never been in a position to hear about nutrition more in his life. He's just a rich guy in Littleton, Colorado with 17 office buildings. I've got to go down there tomorrow and I'm grabbing him by the throat. Why? Because he needs it. But I've got touch points on all those people. Go in your phone right now. Look at your last 10 calls. I don't know who they're going to be. And then go back and contact all 10 of them. Interview all 10 of them. I don't care if it's your wife. Interview your wife again. Denise's goals for longevity, Denise's goals for the next 10 years are different than they were a month ago. Go interview the first 10 people. Do this. Take their picture. Just walk up to them and say, I'm putting a picture of you in my phone. Bam. Just like that. You got the picture of them. right there. Say, why? Because I want to remember you when I call you on the phone because I love you that much. You pocket dial somebody. I told this to Adrian the other day. You pocket dial somebody, don't call up anybody ever again and say, I pocket dialed you too. Say, you know, I was thinking about you so hard, my phone called you. My phone called you because I was thinking about you so hard because I love you that much. What's up? I mean, love people. All right. Can I go home now? I think this was pretty admirable that I flew. Adrian, we were flying. Adrian, did we go fast enough? We got here like
crazy. I couldn't believe it. I thought we were going to be in wall-to-wall traffic in Denver, and we were pulling into Longmont as this call started, and we're home 15 minutes later. Unbelievable.
That's because God wanted us on. Show up. That's all it is, you guys. Show up. I mean, this was like Moses. The seas parted. It was traffic flow. Bam, right down the road. It was unbelievable. All right, we're going to go do our presentation school, and I'm going to feed my poor starving wife right now, and I'm guaranteeing you can call me Keto Tom. 0 on the airplane. They had no food. And I said, is there anything I can eat, Denise? And she said, Denise. And she says, they've got cheese and crackers. I said, no, we're not spending $7.99 and I can't eat the crackers. I'll eat them. $7.99, I guarantee you I'm going to eat those crackers if I buy them. We are not having those crackers because Dr. Ipe is staring. He's right here in the center of my screen and he's staring right at me going, you eat those crackers, I'm coming to your house. Let's go. I love you guys. Thanks for talking to me. Pamela, you were doing a hell of a job. I'm sorry I interrupted you, baby. See ya.
Love you more. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
I'm muted.
Bye.
Bye.
Good evening.
Bye, everyone.
How do you get out of this?
Bye, guys.
I don't
Love you
know.
all.